Well, first of all, credit Wake. They outplayed us. They were the hungrier team, and I thought their sense of urgency coming off their game on Saturday, you could really tell. And for us, we didn't have that. And they rebounded us. I thought the free throws were key. They got to the free throw line. 22. They made 22 out of 26. That's on us. They drove the ball stronger than we did, and we probably fouled a few times when we shouldn't have. But credit them. All the credit in the world goes to them. We have time now to regroup and address the things we need to do better. And obviously there's a lot of them, but credit to Wake. I thought that experience playing on the road hurt us. A lot of our guys, it's their first time going through it, but credit to them, and happy to answer any questions.
Take questions for Ryan first.
Ryan, you guys win the rebounding battle. You guys have done consistently this year's win the rebounding battle. What was the difference tonight for them?
It's inexcusable. There's toughness in this effort. There's not much else that goes into rebounding, and we know that. And like you said, we take pride in that being a strength of ours. And it was embarrassing that we couldn't win that tonight. And that, the coach mentioned, I felt like it was all effort, and they out-topped us, and they came out right from the jump and wanted it more than us.
Ryan, on that note, what was your first inclination tonight of you guys having a bit of a lack of urgency or that kind of thing?
I think they were able to get in our paint pretty easily, and that's something that we've been able to do successfully in the past, is come out and guard teams and take guys, out of their games. And they were able to get to the free throw line very easily against us and just get into the paint maneuver. And again, it's just, offensively and, things come and go, but defense has to be a thing that remains stable for us across the board, no matter how we're playing, how we're shooting the ball. Our defense can't waver. So again, that's yeah, like you said, the first thing was just, I think they got to the free throw line very easily, and they're able to get in the paint.
Ryan, in preparation for tonight, how much of an emphasis was Wake Forest size and trying to neutralize that?
I think they're a pretty different team than what we've played so far, and they have a lot of key guys. We knew that Appleby coming in he's a really good distributor. I think he finished with 8 assists tonight. Obviously he's a good player, and they were able to get a few lobs like that. And obviously they beat us in the rebounding battle, but I didn't think we've played against big teams. I don't think size has affected us too much in the past. I think truly it was just, we came out lethargic tonight. They jumped on us, and we never could dig ourselves out of the hole that we put ourselves in the first half. Keeps on coming back to effort and not being, not wanting as much as them tonight.
Ryan, what was that like? Multiple times throughout the game, it felt like you guys had a chance. We're making a run to possibly get back in the game, and then Wake Forest would kind of close the door a little bit. What's that experience like in a way building, having that happen repeatedly?
It's tough. Obviously, they're a well-coached team and they're smart. And I think they got into the bonus pretty quickly in the second half. I felt like we were cutting the lead down to 7, 8, 9, and they were getting to the line. I think Appleby shot 14 free throws, and that's a killer when they get too quick, easy ones. So it's like I said, it's hard to dig yourself out of a hole like that. We put ourselves into it in the first half and the beginning of the second, and it's tough to come back from that. So we got to that's why you can't come out slow in the first half of games. You can't get jumped on early.
Anything else for Ryan? All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks.
John, I know it was last week or earlier this week, you had said that this was as healthy as you guys could get for the year, and then tonight you're without 2 guys. How frustrating is that to have that happen again and to have to deal with that adversity?
Well, we've been healthy. It's we got sick, and it's how it goes. It's how it goes. And other teams go through. It's not ideal, of course. And you look at that time from when you had exams, but also leading up to this game, practice time. We didn't have our group together, but that's how we did have this group, and we still should have done better. I should have coached them better and all that, but it's how it goes.
Big picture, with all the different lineups you've had to use because of guys being in and out, down the road, does that help because you've gotten some guys more playing time and you had to play different combinations?
I think all this helps. Being in this environment, playing shorthanded. We played, without our full team in about, half our games or whatever it is. And that's you have to keep perspective, but you also have to hate the result. That's part of, what makes you a competitor and as a coach, and whether it's as a coach or as a player. And so for us, I think it's important understanding the room we have to grow, and we just have to keep going. And also we need to address the things that we need to cut out now, because there's a sense of urgency in the ACC. You have to win these games. You have to win. You have to come back and win against Florida State. You have to win on the road. And so for us, I think it's that balance. But being in this environment, playing in the games leading up to this have been really valuable for us.
Don, you just mentioned having only, guys have been scattered a little bit. You don't have everybody together. Sometimes coaches say they sense when maybe a team may have one of those types of performances. Did you sense anything, or is this one of those things that happens when guys are out? This time of year that, they're just kind of hard to predict sometimes when something like this may surface.
No, we knew the circumstances would, were different for us. I mean, having a 10-day break and another 11-day break, that wasn't necessarily by plan, if it wasn't just how it worked out this year with the way our schedule was. But for us, I felt we were gonna be ready to go. We've had a lot of firsts this year, and this was our first, road game. And I thought when we missed some shots, I thought that we were a little that impacted our defense and taken aback by it. And we can't be that fragile. We need to be tough-minded and defend, which is who we've been most of the year. And so for me, I think it's a great chance to, really look at everything and go back to the drawing board and address the team when we come back and make a plan to move forward. But it's, it's disappointing, obviously, to lose this one.
Obviously, you're missing Lively, who's a big factor on defense, but I wanted to ask you what the team is missing overall defensively. You just mentioned, I guess, maybe a little bit of toughness, taking it back by missing shots on offense. Was that the main thing, or was there anything else?
Our defense has always started, Steve, with guarding the ball, and they just drove us like crazy. They do a good job of moving and spacing, and they just got on our paint and well, and just we need to be solid and guard the ball. And it's hard. You're playing out of rotations, really the whole game with that, but it starts there. Obviously, you can miss Derek's, rim protection. Him just being out there changes the game. But Ryan, I thought he really battled, what he did. I mean, we didn't give him the ball enough. He almost has a double-double. Jalen Blake's really guarded and gave us great energy. Like if we have to play like those two guys did tonight. And I thought they set a great example, but we need everybody to play that way.
Missed shots. Did you feel like there needed to be an emphasis to start the second half on going inside? And then did you feel like that kind of when that didn't work at some point, did it just become too much to overcome?
That's our team. We're a team that's, needs to get to the paint. And, I think we're a good shooting team, but it's not what we do first. We're a team that, you have, Ryan and Flip and Mark can really attack downhill. Jeremy can get in the paint, and thought we settled a little bit early, but we also took some good shots and missed. And that's how it goes sometimes. And that's why your defense needs to be consistent. And the defense for us is where we've hung our hat on, and we need to get back to that. That wasn't there tonight.
With it being a road game, but being so close to home, when did you know that you wouldn't have Derek and Derek tonight? Also, timeline when you hope to have them back at practice.
We feel they'll be back, to practice when we return from Christmas, from winter break. But really, it was last night. I mean, we're holding out hope that, they could still play and give us some minutes, and they just weren't in a position to help us, and we didn't want to put them in harm's way either. So, they've been out the last few days, not being able to practice. They've been, they're getting back healthy, and, their injuries they're moving past that. But, got the, just the sick bug last couple of days, and unfortunate.
All right, John, thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Where'd he go? Where'd the other chair go? All right. Take that one.
We had three, I don't know where the third one went.
Oh. Slide over. All right, take the slide that one.
Yes, yes.
Sorry, I'm soaked. Can they hear me off? Do I need it in front of me?
Yeah, like next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
We gonna eat some figgy pudding?
Yeah.
What up? Beef Wellington, is that what we eat over in England?
Beef Wellington, yeah.
Okay. Really proud of my team. Here's the thing. You go up to Rutgers and you get your butt kicked. And that's life, right? And it's how you bounce back. And I thought they did a really good job of coming back and preparing to play Duke. And listen, I know they had a couple really good players out, and I had a lot of respect for their program and John. And I think they got a really good team. They're going to get better and better and better. This is their first road game. We've been pretty battle tested with our schedule. But they do a really good job of not fouling and offensive rebounding. And I thought tonight we did the best job we could rebounding the ball against them. I thought that was huge. They didn't get a lot of easy points off offensive rebounds. And then in the second half, we got in a double bonus. And we haven't been able to do that for a while, and that hurt them. And then you got a guy like Ty who you can put the ball in his hands and then, get fouled. He's going to make free throws. And so, I thought that was a big key. I was really proud of our team. We've, in the second half, we took a punch to the canvas there, in about 9 minutes. I don't remember, but we came right back. We didn't fold, man. And we've had some moments where we've teetered and we didn't finish. And I thought tonight was a great example of finishing. I thought Matt had enough attempts. He'd be leading the country in field goal percentage. I mean, he's like, what is he, 35 for 40 or something like that in front of the field? It's crazy. And Cam just plays so hard, and he's just a competitor. And I'm really proud of my team. Good feeling in the locker room, but hey, we're 1-1 in the league. That's what it is. We're 8-3. That's done. 1-1 with 18 more of these to go. So enjoy it and get ready to play the next one. Open up for questions.
Coach, you guys led for 36 minutes tonight. What does it say about this team to, like you said, survive in the second half when Duke's starting to make a run, makes a couple big shots?
Well, I don't really think we survived. I think we won the game, and that I think that's what we've tried to do. No disrespect, but we've tried to survive. You can't play that way. You have to play to win. And I told you guys that we don't play to survive, play to win. And I thought that's why we won the game, because I think early on in the season we've been playing to survive. Just you can't hope the clock runs out, man. You got to play. They're not going to give it to you, and they didn't. And what their strategy was pretty simple: drive that thing to the basket. And they're pretty good at that. And so I thought we stayed very connected defensively. That was really important. No matter how many threes they made, we had to keep the ball out of the restricted area. And I think in the first half, they might have had 4 shots in the restricted area. I don't know what they had in the second, but we did a pretty damn good job of stripping and ripping and keeping them out of there. And then, they make shots, they don't make shots, but you can't give up layups. So I thought we did a good job of that.
Steve, on that note, and that's where Rutgers really hurt you. I think 25-34 inside
Yeah.
the arc. How much of the impressive and emphasis was it to correct that when?
Total turnaround. Yeah, it's just watching film and practicing and but you got to put the game plan into the game. I mean, it was the same deal playing against Rutgers. We just didn't do it. We got affected by it, but we turned it over a lot too. And a lot of those shots in the paint against Rutgers were off just atomic bombs. We had a couple tonight, but I thought we did a lot better job of going to meet the pass, and they were out there tonight. The one thing and it's not Cam's fault. Cam's really good at getting in there and playing off 2 feet, right? But they're denying the pass back out. Then we have to cut. We wanted a second cut, and sometimes we did, sometimes we didn't, and we're standing. So it's not all his fault either on getting in the paint. But yeah, now Rutgers got grown ass men. Okay, all right, they do, and so not that no disrespect, Duke's got younger guys. I mean, we're playing against dudes, up there, and that crowd was going, and it was a tough place to play, but it was a great learning experience for our team.
I got one for Cam and for Coach. Cam, you were dealing with injuries, and then you get back out there and you're driving to the basket and drawing contact. Just how much pain were you playing through, and what does beating Duke mean to you?
I mean,
coach said a few times in the timeout that, we have 10 days off right now. So we got to leave everything out on the floor. So, I love winning. Like you said, I'm a competitor. So, as much pain I am in, it doesn't matter. I'm going to keep fighting and just do whatever I can to help the team win.
And Steve, first off, what was your reaction when you learned that Duke was going to be without 2 potential lottery picks today?
Well, I mean, they still got good players, and I told John before the game, I'm sorry they're not here. I hate that for those kids, and but you still got to play, and they weren't gonna just because they didn't have those guys. They got other guys that can step up and play, and so, last year coach didn't come, and John beat us, and so I mean, there's always something like that, I've even my record. I'm the only coach in America that's 1 and 1.5 against John, because he beat us over here, we beat him tonight, and then he beat us for a half over there at Duke a year ago when coach didn't come out in the second half. So it's 1.5, I think. I mean, I got a lot of respect, for always have, always will. Like John, like his staff, like his players. They play hard, no BS. And I mean, I hope those guys get healthy and can play.
The players, coach mentioned the difference between trying to survive and playing to win. How did that mindset kind of kick in? And how did the experiences that you have had in late in games, you haven't been able to close them out? How did that help today?
Step up there, big boy.
No, I mean, we have a lot of faith in ourselves. We practice hard every day. We feel like we can beat every team that we face. Obviously, we've had ups and downs during the season, but I mean, it's more learning experiences. So obviously, after games such as Clemson and Rutgers, we come back together. We correct some things, go back in practice, and yeah, we have all the faith, and we're a solid team, and we play hard together. And like today, we feel like we can get many more.
Why do I feel like I'm the UK Olympic coach here? You asked me a question.
Oh yeah, just touching on what he said. We put ourselves in situations in practice where, like we get pushed every single day. Like we never take it easy in practice. We always work hard every day. We always watch film. We always learn from our mistakes. And, like Matt said, Clemson and Rutgers wasn't a nice loss for us. We had a chip on our shoulder and, we did well today. And I'm really proud of everyone on the team.
Thanks, coach. You're welcome.
Steve, you talked about like teetering a couple of times tonight. It seems like one of those times was when Duke got it down to 7 with a little bit over 3 minutes to go. And the guy to your right stood in there and took a charge.
Yeah.
How big was that play? Ty got fouled very
Huge.
seconds later.
Because you can win the game defending. And you got to learn that, right? If you're up 7, they don't score again. I'm not very good at math, but I think we're going to win. And so I think it's really important that players learn that games can be won defensively. Okay. Not hoping that they miss, making them miss. Great play by him. Correct. And then getting it into your best ball handler and your best free throw. I'll give you an example of not finishing the game correctly. And we won. Wisconsin. Probably didn't even notice this, but we fouled the first time. They made 2 free throws, right? Tamari took it out and threw the ball into who? Cam. Cam stepped up and made both. But Ty's the guy you got to throw it to. He's wide open, right? He's 88%. No disrespect. He made them. It's just little things like that you have to learn. This is how we finish a game, doing things the right way. And so yeah, something maybe happened bad on the other end, but he came down and took a charge. And then we threw it to our best ball handler and he got fouled. He makes 2. Now we got some breathing room. But you got to play to win, not to lose. Play to win, not to lose.
Davian and Ty or peanut butter and jelly. Do you have a name for these 2 guys?
You know what it is. I can't say it. No, I can't say it. Yeah, I got it. What is it? No, what's that egg thing? What is it? Bangers and mash. Bangers and mash.
Bangers and mash.
Dip the bag. No, I think bangers and mash is good. Bangers and mash. What is that? Tell them what bangers and mash is.
It's sausages and mashed potato.
There you go.
Gravy.
Banger mash. I like it. We got bangers and mash. All right.
Coach, have you, was this an effort to erase Rutgers or overcome Rutgers?
I don't know if you can erase it. You put it in your memory bank and I think you overcome it. It's a good, I like how you say that. I mean, life's full of adversity. right? And it's how you bounce back from it. And that's the lessons I keep trying to teach them just for life is about, being accountable, learning from your mistakes and moving on and having a short memory, and I thought we did that because it was a very volatile, very tough environment on Saturday and we didn't play very well. We didn't handle it well. And all the credit goes to Rutgers. Tonight we got off to a good start and, chipped away, had a really good crowd. They were behind us. And, so I think it was probably more overcoming it than, forgetting about it.
We're gonna go in the back to Lauren Walsh real quick.
Hey, Lauren.
Steve, you've talked about the difference between this year's team and last year's in the sense of some of the more standout scorers on that team last year. I saw a lot of these guys kind of like flexing, having moments with the crowd after big buckets. What do you think is the value of that shared confidence among the offense and the group?
And I think it's the most important thing, Lauren. I mean, the belief in yourself and your teammates. And we're a team. We're not a bunch of individuals, and they feed off each other like any good team does. We got great balance, right? I don't know. I haven't looked. 1, 2, 3. We got 5 guys in double figures, so it's not like we had to rely on one guy or 2 guys to go play great for us to win. We need everybody, and so I think it's a great feeling when. Damari makes a shot and everybody's like, great shot. And Cam goes in there and does something to help him up. And Matt gets one of those dunks, everybody's cheering for everybody. And that was my biggest complaint with Damari last week when he didn't play, because I only asked for 2 things in practice: play really hard and be a great teammate. That's it. I'm not going to play perfect. I'm not going to coach perfect. Nobody's perfect, but you can play as hard as you can and you can be an unbelievable teammate. And that's, I preach that to these guys about adversity. When they're going through a tough time, who are you helping? I say it every day, don't I? If Tam's not doing well, I expect him to help him. And that's what I think that's what you're talking about is, you got to help each other. And even through the good times and the bad times. And so I think that's when you start to have a good team.
Steve, going back to the crowd, you were revving them up a handful of times. At the end of the game, were you expecting a court storm?
No,
Preparing for that?
I wouldn't have been very happy because this is just the game, man. So it's next game. It's a conference game. I mean, I get it, it's Duke, but no. I mean, I'm not the fun police here, okay? I'm not saying people shouldn't have fun. We don't need to be storming the court, man. We need to expect to win. And that's what we're here for. And so, no, I wouldn't have said anything, but I kind of probably would have went, like, we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. And, but I want people to have fun. I don't want to see blue in the lower bowl. I know that. And there was some, and hopefully someday we'll get to the point where that's not a case, where we can't have that, but I get it. I'm not, I understand, but we got to get to that point where we don't have any blue down in there. They got to sit upstairs.
Do we have any other questions for Matt or Cam?
See you guys. See you,
Thank you.
Banger and Mash. Hey, both their parents are here too from England, so it's awesome. They're getting to spend time with their family.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, the children are gone now. We can ask the real questions. Jeez.
You mentioned Damari, and is this game a prototype of almost a perfect Damari Monsanto game in terms of what you want from him?
I don't know about perfect. Yeah, I mean, you listen. Yeah, right. I mean, he's a shot maker. Okay. And so it's a fine line. Sometimes he needs to make some plays, but then there's times when you got to dial it down a little bit. And so we're finding that. I think he's a great catch and stick player, like catch it, shoot it, not catch it, jab, jab, jab between the legs. Those don't ever go in, catch it, shoot it, or move it. Now, tonight he shot fake, dribbled one and got in there. Big play late, made that little 15-footer. He can do that. He's played a little bit better off the bounce. He's just getting better. Listen, we have a good relationship. And so, but you can't, you can't coach kids correctly if you don't have a good relationship with them. And he understood what was up. And, I think somebody here asked me if he was available to play on Saturday. So he was available to play on Wednesday. I just didn't play him, but he started tonight and he had 22 against Rutgers and 13 tonight. So, hopefully, continue to grow and become a better player. And I thought he played, pretty well. He's got some defensive lapses. That's kind of our problem a little bit is we just have some issues where we maybe have 2 or 3 turnovers in a row, or we have 2 or 3 defensive lapses in a row. You can't do that in these big high level games. And we're trying to correct that.
Going back to the question about playing for each other and the way that teams come together, how difficult is that to do with so many new guys, and how quickly has it come together?
It's fun. It's a good question. It's an interesting question. And I get asked that a lot. But here's the thing. You got to remember, we got 8 weeks in the summer, right? And we got probably 16 weeks before we play a game. That's a long time, and we do a lot of things to create that, by doing things off the floor together. I create a lot of adversity in practice, but it's intentional, right? To kind of make them band together, kind of them against me a little bit, put one of them on the island and see how they help them. And, but you can't do that if they know you don't love them, or you don't care about them off the court, they won't do it, and so, I don't know. I've not had a hard time with that. I think it just depends, I guess, on the person. We all have strengths and weaknesses. I got plenty of weaknesses, but I think that's one of my strengths probably is to get guys to play together and care about each other. And maybe because I coached JUCO for seemed like 100 years. 11, I think, I had new teams every year. Sometimes I had 13 new guys, sometimes that's a good thing too. Right. Yeah. I'm tired of you. Get a new guy. I don't know. I think a lot of coaches are going through it right now, and it's not going to change. And we didn't make the rule, but it is the rule. And so we have to learn, to adapt.
Coach, in relation to last season, when you didn't make the tournament on Selection Sunday, you were kind of lamenting those missed opportunities and those ACC losses like Duke, Miami, a few others. I know it's just December, but when you look at this team, and you've talked about scheduling a lot as well, you have 2 quad wins more than you had last season.
Today they might be quad 3, who knows, right?
That is true, but just how big is it to get those big wins?
Oh, it's huge. Only quad. I'm from Iowa. Quad Cities. You ever heard of Quad Cities? That's right. That's the only quads I know about. Okay, Davenport, Moline, Rock Island, and Bettendorf. That's all I know. Okay. I don't try to figure that crap out. But we've played a harder schedule. But sure, Wisconsin's in the bank. We didn't have one of those last year, right? And they're going to be good. They're going to win. Tough place to go play. Duke's going to be good. We didn't beat them last year and had a tip in on us, late, tough loss, really tough loss. And so, those 2, but hey, man, we got 18 more of these to go. So you enjoy it and you move on. It used to be you had a 24-hour rule. We got a few days off, so maybe we'll take 48 hours on this one. I don't know, but you don't. This is the problem with the quad, how are they going to play from here on out? Those teams that you beat, I don't know. I don't coach your team. Like when we beat Northwestern last year, I thought they were really good. In fact, they had Ryan Young in the game, and they had that guy I'm about to go play over there in North Carolina. I can't think of his name. Nance. Pretty good players. It was a heck of a win, but it didn't end up being a quad whatever win. We didn't get a quad win for beating North Carolina. We didn't get a quad win for winning in Virginia. Okay. All right. Okay. So it's like, I'm not a big fan of it, but we rack them up and we try to win as many as we can, man. Anybody else? I got to call my mom. You guys are cutting in on me. All right. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like they're just losing records. We don't have everybody back, but God, we have everybody back, right?
Yeah.